Hello dear students, in the previous lecture we have discussed some of the terminology of limits, fits and tolerance, and we have also discussed conventional diagram of limits. So now today we are going to discuss some more aspects of limits, fits and tolerance. So today we are going to discuss the types of tolerances and the maximum material condition and the minimum material condition and many more. So first we will discuss about specification of tolerance. So but a tolerance is defined as the difference between the upper limit to the lower limit. Let us suppose we have the shaft of 50 mm and we have placed the tolerances as plus at the upper side plus 0.02 and at the lower side minus 0.02. So what is the upper limit in this case? Upper limit is 50.02 mm and the lower limit is 49.98 mm. So tolerance is what? Tolerance is the difference between the upper limit of the shaft and the lower limit. So this will be 50.02 minus 49.98, that is 0.04 mm. So tolerance will be 0.04 mm. Now there are two types of tolerances. First one is the unilateral tolerance and second one is the bilateral tolerance. So unilateral, as a name indicates, unilateral. Uni means only in one. So unilateral tolerance, the tolerance which only in one direction, either in positive direction or in negative direction. So according to this, in this system, the dimension of a part is allowed to vary only in one dimension of the basic size. That is, tolerance lies wholly on one side of the basic size, either above or below, either on negative side, either on positive side. The example of unilateral tolerance is like this: phi 25 at the upper side plus 0.18, at the lower side plus 0.10. So what will be the basic size in this example? The basic size is 25 mm and upper limit will be 25, 25.18, 25.18, and the lower limit will be 25.1 mm. This 25.1 mm because basic size is given as 25 and the lower tolerance is plus 0.1. So tolerance lower limit will be 25 plus 0.1, that is 25.1 mm. And what will be the tolerance? Then tolerance will be the difference between the upper limit and the lower limit, that is 25.18 minus 25.1 mm, and that will be 0.08 mm. The next example is like this: plus 25 at the upper side minus 0.1 and at the lower side minus 0.2. So basic size will be again 25 mm. Upper limit will be 25 minus 0.1, that is 24.9 mm, and the lower limit will be 25 minus 0.2, that will be 24.8 mm, and tolerance will be the difference between the upper limit and the lower limit, and that will be 0.1 mm. So you can see from this example this plus sign and this plus sign. So it is only varying in one direction, that is in positive direction. So that's why it is unilateral tolerance. In this, it is varying only in negative direction, minus 0.1 and minus 0.2. So it is also the example of unilateral tolerance. Next is bilateral tolerance. As the name indicates, bilateral tolerance. So bilateral tolerance indicates that the tolerance will vary in both negative direction and the positive direction. So in this system, the dimension of the part is allowed to vary on both the side of the basic size, that is the limit of tolerance lie on either side of the basic size. It means at the plus side and at the negative side. This is the example of bilateral tolerance. If this is a, let us consider it is a shaft 525 plus minus 0.04. So what will be the basic size in this question? This is the basic size will be 25 mm and the upper limit will be 25 plus 0.04, that will be 25.04 mm, and the lower limit will be 25 minus 0.04, that is 24.96 mm, and tolerance will be the upper limit minus the lower limit, that will be 0.08 mm. So this is the example of unilateral or bilateral tolerance, because positive sign, this is varying in both the positive as well as negative direction. So this is the example of bilateral tolerance. I think it is the difference is clear in between unilateral tolerance and bilateral tolerance. Our next topic is maximum and minimum material condition. Maximum and minimum material condition. So for explaining this, I have considered an example. I have considered a shaft which is having the dimension of 40 plus minus 0.05 mm. So what will be the upper limit in this case? The upper limit will be 40 plus 0.05 mm, that will be 40.05 mm. And the lower limit will be 40 minus 0.05 mm, that will be 39.95 mm. So we have to find out that what is the maximum material condition and what will be the minimum material condition. So as the name indicates, maximum material condition, first of all we have to know that what is maximum material condition. Maximum material condition is a condition at which the part, either the shaft or the hole, is consuming the maximum amount of the material during its production. So we can easily see that the dimension of the shaft, the upper limit of the shaft is 40.05, and the minimum limit, that is the lower limit, will be 39.95 mm. It means this shaft is greater, 40.05 shaft is greater than 39.95. So it is very clear that the maximum material will be consumed by the shaft at the upper limit, that is 40.05 mm. So we can say that the maximum material condition for the shaft will always be the upper limit of the shaft. So what will be the upper limit? Upper limit of the shaft will be considered as maximum material condition, as our shaft is consuming maximum material during the production at its upper limit. Now next is minimum material condition, and this same shaft is consuming less material at its lower limit, that is 39.95. So that is why this 39.95, that is the lower limit, will be the minimum material condition. So we can say that at maximum material condition, the upper limit will be considered for the shaft, and for minimum material condition, the lower limit will be considered in the case of shaft. Now this is the case of shaft. Now I have considered a hole which is having the dimension of 45 plus minus 0.05 mm. So what will be the upper limit of the hole? That is 45 plus 0.05 mm, that will be 45.05 mm. And what will be the lower limit? That is 45 minus 0.05 mm, that will be 44.95 mm. So on which limit the hole is consuming the maximum material? Hole always consume maximum material at its lower limit. For example, this is the lower limit of the hole, this is the lower limit of the hole, and this is the upper limit of the hole. So at the lower limit, this much amount of the material is consumed up to this line, this. And at the upper limit, this much material is only consumed for the manufacturing of the hole. So at the lower limit, the hole will consume maximum material during the manufacturing of a hole. So in case of hole, the lower limit will be considered as maximum material condition, and the upper limit of the hole, will be considered to be the minimum material condition in case of hole. So we can easily see that shaft is just opposite to the hole. In case of shaft, the maximum material condition is upper limit of the shaft, and in hole it is lower limit of the shaft, and minimum material condition is lower limit of the shaft and the upper limit of the hole. Is this clear? I think. Next is why the tolerances are specified. what is the need to specify the tolerance on the given basic size? So the very first part is to obtain desired fit. Bit of fit I will explain you in the next lecture. So I am just giving an example. For example, we are taking the example of cylinder and piston. So what what is the application or what is the work of cylinder and piston? The work of the piston is to do the reciprocating motion inside the cylinder. So cylinder will be the hole and piston will be the shaft, and it will be able to move inside the cylinder in a reciprocating motion. It is only possible when there is some gap between the cylinder inner boundary and the piston outer boundary. So this is called fit. Fit is what? Fit is the degree of looseness or tightness of the two mating parts. So to provide the desired amount of fit, we need tolerance. Next is, because it is not possible for the manufacturer to produce the exact size. I have already told you that it is not possible to produce a part within its exact size. Next is to obtain higher accuracy. To obtain higher accuracy. So, beta, if we take an example that 1,000 work pieces are manufactured and only 5 pieces are like this, that they achieve the exact size, but 995 shafts does not achieve its exact size. So what is our aim? Our aim is to fulfill the requirement of the part that is to be used in the application. For example, cylinder and piston. But a cylinder and piston का काम क्या है कि cylinder should move, do the reciprocating motion inside the cylinder. This is the work of the cylinder and piston. So each pair of cylinder and piston will consider to be accurate, which will perfectly do its work in its application. This is to be used in engine. So if it works properly, then it is okay. Then its accuracy is good. So this is the third part. And part D is to have proper allowances. Proper allowances. Allowances I have already explained that the difference between the two mating parts, the size of the two mating parts. Let us consider, if we consider cylinder and piston. So the difference between the cylinder inner diameter and the piston outer diameter is the allowance. This is an example. Next question is, beta, why unilateral system is preferred in interchangeable manufacturing? So beta, it is considered that we generally use unilateral system of fits in interchangeable assembly. What is the reason behind it? First reason is it is easy and simple to determine deviation. Beta, in the unilateral system, it is easy to define the deviation. I have already told you the definition of deviation. Deviation is what? Deviation is the difference between, the algebraic difference between the upper limit and the basic size and the lower limit and the basic size. So in the unilateral system, if we fix a limit, then we can easily get the deviation. We can easily get the deviation. For example, if we fix the lower limit of the whole, that means lower limit is equals to the basic size, then the upper deviation can be easily determined, because if we know the basic size and tolerance is provided on the upper size of the hole, then we can easily determine the deviation. What will be the upper deviation in that case of hole? In the shaft, what we will do, we will consider what? We will consider the lower upper limit. Sorry. In the shaft, what we consider? We consider the upper limit of the hole So for the shaft, we consider the upper limit of the hole as the basic size. So the fundamental deviation is easy to determine, because the upper limit of the shaft minus basic size will be 0 because basic size is equal to the upper limit in this case. I am going to explain this with the help of an example which I have already explained you previously. So you can look from this diagram. This is the basic size. This is the zero line. This is a zero line. If we assume this upper limit of the shaft equal to this basic size, so this upper deviation of the shaft is 0. So it is very easy to design this shaft. And in the same way, if we consider this hole lower limit, of the hole equal to the basic size, then it is very easy to determine the lower deviation in the case of hole. So by considering the unilateral tolerance, it is easy to design hole and shaft, and it is easy to define the deviation over the hole and shaft. I think it is clear to you. Next is another advantage of using unilateral system is that go, gauge and can be standardized as the whole of different tolerance grade. बेटा मैंने अभी आपको बताया कि आपका जब यूनिटल टॉलरेंस यूज करते हैं तो क्या होता है, आपका होल का जो लोअर लिमिट है, होल की जो लोअर लिमिट है, इट विल बी इक्वल टू द बेसिक साइज. So it is very easy to design the go end of the limit gauges. I will explain you the go end and the limit gauges in detail in the coming lectures. So go end is the end which checks the maximum material condition of the hole and shaft, which will check the maximum material condition for hole and shaft. So basically unilateral tolerance helps to design go end of the limit gauges. Next is this form of tolerance greatly assists the operator when machining of meeting parts is to be done. बेटा अभी आपको मैंने बताया कि आपका जो अपर लिमिट है शाफ्ट की और लोअर लिमिट होल की फिक्स कर दी जाती है, बेसिक साइज के बराबर फिक्स कर दी जाती है. देन ऑपरेटर हैव अ डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम द लोअर लिमिट टू द अपर लिमिट. आप उसको पता होता है कि इतना मेरे पास अभी मटेरियल है, मैं इस पे वर्क कर सकता हूँ, लोअर लिमिट से अपर लिमिट की तरफ बढ़ सकता हूँ. ठीक है, तो वो क्या होता है, द ऑपरेटर मशीन टू द अपर लिमिट ऑफ द शाफ्ट. ठीक है, अपर लिमिट तक वो इजीली वर्क कर सकता है, अपर लिमिट ऑफ द शाफ्ट और द लोअर लिमिट ऑफ द शोइंग, knowing fully well that it still have some margin left for machining before part is rejected. बेटा आपका जो ऑपरेटर है वो किस लिमिट्स के बीच में वर्क करता है, अपर लिमिट एंड लोअर लिमिट. तो जो आपका आपने लोअर लिमिट फिक्स कर दी होल की, लेकिन अपर लिमिट है ना, तो उसके बीच में आपका ऑपरेटर इजीली वर्क कर सकता है. शाफ्ट के केस में क्या है, आपने शाफ्ट की अपर लिमिट फिक्स कर दी बेसिक साइज के बराबर, लोअर लिमिट है, आपका लोअर लिमिट अपर लिमिट से लोअर लिमिट के बीच में वो शाफ्ट को इजीली डिजाइन कर सकता है. तो दैट्स व्हाई वी यूज यूनिलैटरल सिस्टम in the interchangeable manufacturing. I think this is clear to you. Next is relationship between manufacturing cost and work tolerance. So what is the relationship between the manufacturing cost and work tolerance? So if the tolerance are made closer and closer, the cost of production goes on increasing. It means that if you want to achieve, if 50 is the basic size, and if you want to get the close tolerance with respect to that basic size, if you want to achieve 49.99, 49.995, so when you want to achieve up nearer to the basic size, your dimension nearer to the basic size, the cost of production will be more because you have to use more precise machines, tools, material to opt that close tolerance. Tight inspection is needed, and for the tight inspection you have to select good engineers, and good engineers salary should be high. So in this way cost of production goes on increasing. Next is good inspection devices should be used. सो बेटा इस तरह से आपका क्या है, जैसे जैसे आप बेसिक साइज के पास आने के लिए कोशिश करते हैं, यू वांट टू अचीव द बेसिक साइज और नियरनेस टू द बेसिक साइज, द कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इंक्रीजेस. This graph shows the relationship between the manufacturing cost and the work tolerance. You can see that if we take this point, so this is the cost. The cost is too much high, and this is the work tolerance, and this is the work tolerance. And work tolerance is very close to the basic size. And taking this point, the manufacturing cost is too less, but the work tolerance is very high. The work tolerance is very high because it is very accurate. This work tolerance is very accurate, so it is consuming the more cost, and the work tolerance at this point is very less, so the cost is very low. So this is the relationship between the manufacturing cost and work tolerance. So this lecture is over, so we will discuss other aspects of limits, fits and tolerance in our next upcoming lecture. Thank you so much.